Triton. They call this the cantaloupe moon. Looking at the picture, you probably could figure out why. Although, that's not the most exciting thing about Triton. Triton is the only large moon that goes clockwise, retrograde. Right, so it goes backwards. It does have an atmosphere, but it's very thin. And it has geysers of liquid nitrogen. Right, so basically they've got these little areas that erupt liquid nitrogen. This is why it's also one of my favorites. I don't know if I can choose a favorite, but liquid nitrogen. Have you ever been somewhere and they made ice cream from liquid nitrogen? It's really cool. I guess pun intended, not really, but it's really, really neat. So this is where you will find me. I will be sitting there with my heavy cream, some chocolate sauce, and finding myself a liquid nitrogen geyser to make myself some ice cream. So they think Triton is actually a captured object because it's kind of different. Like I said, it's moving backwards. Triton is actually larger than Pluto, and we'll talk about Pluto at the end here. So Triton they actually think is a sister object to Pluto. It's almost very, very similar, except bigger. The smallest of the large moons. Okay, so this is the smallest of the large moons. It's bigger than Pluto. Pluto must be smaller than we thought. Triton is half the size of Europa. It's got an icy surface, and you can see the picture of frozen lake. 37 degrees Kelvin. Yeah, so probably my cream will be frozen before I find a geyser, but worth a try. So if they have geysers of liquid nitrogen, just like Io has volcanoes spewing sulfur, it has a sulfur atmosphere. This has a nitrogen atmosphere because it's spewing nitrogen. At the poles you can see this pink area. And they believe that this is frozen nitrogen on the surface. So basically a layer of frost, but not made out of water, made out of nitrogen. And there's not many craters, again because you've got a lot of activity here, so it's basically being... Unfortunately, I'm not going to get my ice cream for very long, because Triton is approaching Neptune. It's actually spiraling around it. Looks like it may collide with it in about 100 million years. So, now what's going to happen in 100 million years, it won't actually collide, we don't think. We think what will happen is it will reach this Roche limit, which we'll talk about later, and it will literally just rip apart. Kind of sad.
The 14 moons of Neptune are a strange bunch. Most of them are small potato-shaped pieces of ice and rock. Some are so far away from Neptune that they need 29 years to circle Neptune once. Almost all of them are asteroids trapped by Neptune's gravity. 99.5% of all the mass around Neptune is concentrated in Triton. It's the 7th biggest moon and more massive than all other known moons in the solar system that are smaller than itself combined. Its surface area is about as big as the mainland of Russia and Australia together. Also, Triton is one of only 4 objects in the solar system that we know is geologically active. Triton orbits Neptune in the wrong direction, against the rotation of Neptune, which is unique in our solar system for an object as big as Triton. We can conclude from this that Triton hasn't always been a moon of Neptune, but probably was a dwarf planet that was forced into submission by Neptune when the solar system was younger and more chaotic. The most popular theory here is that Triton was once part of a double system. When Neptune migrated to the outer edges of the solar system, its gravity interfered with the double system and catapulted the other object into space, while Triton was forced into orbit. This would have disrupted the orbits of other Neptune moons rather violently and would most likely have either pushed them away from Neptune or let them collide or crash into Neptune. This would explain why Neptune's moons are so dominated by Triton. But this will end one day. Triton is being slowed down by Neptune. And eventually it will either crash into it or be ground by Neptune's gravity into a huge ring system similar to Saturn's. So don't buy real estate on Triton.